What's up, Vikings Nation? Take a deep breath for a second, because early Wednesday night brought one of those rare moments where the Minnesota Vikings actually caught a break. Not the kind that changes a season overnight, but the kind that stops your stomach from dropping when you see a headline pop up on your phone. This time, it wasn't about Brian Flores and the head coaching carousel, even though that drama is still very real. This was about Jordan Addison, and for a few hours it felt like the sky might be falling again over TCO Performance Center. The good news first. The trespassing charges against Addison were dropped. According to court records obtained by ESPN, there's no case moving forward. For Vikings fans who were already bracing for another suspension, that alone felt like a small victory. Now let's rewind and explain how we even got here, because this story didn't come out of nowhere. Earlier this month, Addison was arrested at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Florida after a situation at a restaurant escalated. Reports say staff asked him to leave, Addison allegedly refused, and police had to redirect him multiple times before arresting him. No violence, no injuries, no damage, but still an arrest that instantly set off alarms across Vikings territory. And you know how this fan base is. After everything that's happened over the last 2 seasons, nobody was willing to just shrug this off as nothing. The fear was immediate. Here we go again. Because with Jordan Addison, it's never been about talent. Vikings fans know exactly what he brings on the field, and it's special. This is a former first-round pick who immediately stepped into the offense and produced at a high level. In his first 3 seasons, Addison put up 175 catches, 2,396 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Those aren't fluky numbers. That's elite production for a number 2 wide receiver, and on some teams, he'd be a clear-cut number 1 option. Next to Justin Jefferson, Addison gives the Minnesota Vikings one of the most dangerous receiver duos in football. Defenses can't double everyone, and that's what makes this offense so hard to stop when it's clicking. But here's the problem, and you already know it. The off-field stuff keeps creeping back into the conversation, and it's impossible to ignore anymore. Vikings fans still remember Addison's rookie season arrest for going 140 miles per hour in a 55 zone on I-94. At the time, it was framed as a dumb mistake, a young player learning a hard lesson. Then came the DUI arrest in Los Angeles. That one hit differently, especially given the timing. Just weeks earlier, teammate Kyrie Jackson tragically lost his life in a crash involving an impaired driver. The optics were brutal. Even fans who wanted to defend Addison had a hard time doing it, because context matters, and the timing made it impossible to separate emotion from the situation. Those issues started to bleed onto the field. Addison was suspended for the first 3 games of the season, putting the Vikings behind the 8 ball right out of the gate. Later in the year, he was benched for the first quarter against the Browns after missing team activities on the London trip. Small moments, but they added up, and coaches clearly sent a message. Statistically, the season was underwhelming by his standards. 7 drops, matching his total from the previous 2 seasons combined. Was it the suspension, the pressure, the distractions? Nobody knows for sure. But inside Viking circles, a bigger question started to grow louder. Is this someone you commit long-term money to, or someone you cash in on before things get worse? Contractually, the Vikings had leverage. As a first-round pick, Addison has a 5th-year option that could keep him in Minnesota through the 2027 season. That option gave the team flexibility. Pick it up, let Addison play a prove-it year, rebuild his value, and either extend him or trade him later for maximum return. On paper, it was the perfect plan. Low risk, high reward, and plenty of time to see if Addison could settle down and just focus on football. But then this latest incident happened, and suddenly the timeline may have shifted. According to speculation reported by Sports Illustrated, the Vikings are now at least listening to trade interest. Teams like the San Francisco 49ers and Buffalo Bills have been mentioned as potential suitors. The rumored price? Somewhere in the range of a 2nd-, 3rd-, or 4th-round pick, possibly with a player involved. Nothing confirmed, but the smoke is definitely there. And here's where things get tricky. If you're the Vikings, picking up that 5th-year option now means you're betting that there are no more off-field issues. That's a risk, whether fans want to admit it or not. This latest arrest may end up being a misunderstanding, but it's also the third major incident tied to Addison since entering the league. Fair or not, that pattern matters in NFL front offices. From a pure asset management perspective, trading him now could make sense. Receiver-needy teams might be willing to gamble, especially if they think a change of scenery fixes everything. But moving Addison also creates real football problems. This offense already has question marks heading into the future. J.J. McCarthy could be entering his second year as a starter. T.J. Hawkinson's contract situation is unresolved. There's even the possibility of another quarterback transition by 2026. Taking away a proven playmaker in that environment is risky. There's no guarantee someone like Jalen Nailor can suddenly fill that void, even if he's been reliable and available. Nailor has played all 17 games in back-to-back seasons, and that matters. Availability matters. But production matters too, and Addison has delivered when he's been on the field. In a perfect world, Addison stays quiet, plays clean, balls out next season, and the Vikings trade him later for a bigger haul. That was the dream scenario. But football isn't played in a perfect world, and front offices don't get paid to hope for the best. Right now, everything about this situation screams urgency. The Vikings didn't want to make this decision this offseason, but circumstances may force their hand. Holding on to Addison might still be the best move for 2025, but trust has clearly taken a hit inside the organization. What feels like a minor incident on the surface may end up being the final push that sends Jordan Addison out of Minnesota. And Vikings fans are left asking the hardest question of all. Do you move on from elite talent to protect the future? Or do you ride it out and hope this time is different? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you trade Jordan Addison right now? Or keep him for one more season? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with every Vikings fan you know, because Minnesota Vikings news never sleeps.